Alright, so we got our bobber finished up. We've been on a few rides, but I noticed that the front wheel bounces a little bit about 50 mile an hour. So I need to take this wheel off and have a go at balancing it. So I figured would make me a little setup. Since I don't do this very often, there's no sense in buying one. I think we can just make one out of some bearings and a little stand. So in order to balance our tire, we got to have something that'll let it rotate really free. What I got is some cheap bearings that'll fit on the shaft, and it's going to allow it to rotate really free. But when you buy bearings, even cheap ones like these, a couple dollar bearings, they don't spin free like this because in a lot of cases they have the oil seals on. And so like this bearing, it's not so good right now because it's pretty cheap. So step one of this is you got to get the oil seal out, because we want to free up the bearings. So that we're going to take out, and then we got to get the bearings, because you see they don't spin very free at all because they're filled with grease, and we want to get them so that they'll spin like that, which is the same bearing. So to get all that grease out, we just need to get some carburetor cleaner, and we're going to spray it with the carburetor cleaner. And what that'll do is free that bearing up. So you can see now it rotates real easy because it doesn't have any oil in it. So I'm going to take it and blow that cleaner out of there. So now we got two easy spinning bearings. Alright, so what we'll do is put these on the shaft, put the wheel on there, and then all we got to do is just mount these bearings on top of something so that the shaft with the wheel on it can rotate, and we can find the heavy side and the light side of the wheel. So we'll get set up here and make us a little stand, and then we'll be ready to balance this tire. Okay, so what we got is two 2x4s and a hole saw that's roughly the same diameter as the OD of the bearing. And what we want to do is make two little pockets for the bearings to sit into on these 2x4s. Alright, so now we got two boards that have little pockets on them, and so what we can do is set our bearing in there. It doesn't have to be tight, but it just gives it some way to center it up, and then we can make our little stand out of these boards. Alright, so let's build our little frame to hold it up. So what we did was took a chisel and chiseled out those edges for the hole just so you can slip the bearings down in there. Now, the most important part is to have this level. And there we go. Alright, so we got our bike tire off. We got it up on the stand. This is the one we're gonna actually balance. So if I touch it, you can see that it's gonna go find its position back. So where it rotates back, that's gonna be the lightest side of the tire. That'll be the heaviest side. So here's where we want to put our weight. So I got a couple weights left over. So we'll start with the 20. And we'll put the 20 up on there and see what that does. So there's a 20. So now if I try to rotate it, let's see what it does. So we'll see where it stops. And if it rotates backwards, we'll know. It's rotating on its own right now. So I think that means the 20 is probably too heavy because it's rotating down by itself. So what that says is that what used to be the lightest spot is now the heaviest spot. Let me take that one off because it's just rotating on its own and let it find its center again. It should be if I just touch it, then it'll rotate itself back. You don't want it to go real fast because it'll overshoot, and then it has to bobble back the other way. You can see it stop there. So somewhere around in there is going to be its lightest side. You can see it rotate it back. So right there would be its lightest side, but that weight is too much. So what we need to find is another weight, maybe a little weight. So let's take 2 washers. And take 2 washers on there and see. Now, if I move it, let's see if it rotates back. Still wanting to rotate back to that position. Right there, so that's not enough weight. So let's try 3 washers. Now let's see what it does. I'll try to rotate it with 3 washers. Still tries to rotate back just a little. Let's move it on down here. And see when the washers get to here, does it try to go back? Still trying to go back just a little. Ever so slightly. Maybe we got to put 4 washers. We'll try 4 washers and see. So now let's see if it starts going backwards in here. See, now it doesn't move hardly at all. There it moves back, so that's pretty close. So the weight of 4 washers is enough to balance this tire. But if you're wanting to do a do-it-yourself and make you a tire balancer, that's all you have to do. Just some pieces of scrap wood, a couple of bearings. You can get the cheapest bearings that you can find. The shaft on the Gen 1 750 Viragos is a 15 millimeter. The OD doesn't matter because you're just going to drill out that to hold the bearing at whatever the size it is you get the bearing for. But it's a 15 millimeter ID bearing. And there you go. So now we got our wheel nice and balanced. So we'll just figure out the weight of those washers and the tape, and we'll go to the store and get us some weights and clamp them on there. Alrighty, well thanks for watching.